Howdy folks, and welcome to a rather interesting video. Today, we're going to be getting all the achievements for SoulStone Survivors. If you don't know what this game is, it's a vampire survivor-like auto-battling game. Really, that's all I can say about it. The gameplay's simple. You have several different characters, each with slightly different abilities, and you hop into a match on one of 5 maps, each with their own pool of resources. Resources are needed later on for achievements and gear creation. You then blitz and murder your way through hordes of enemies until you fight the Lord of the Void. There are several different lords. Upon killing said lord, it will drop a big crystal, and depending on which stage, be it stage 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, that crystal will be a different color. As well, depending on the difficulty of the actual round you're on, it can be difficulty 0 to, I believe, 7. Different resources will drop, and more lords will appear per activation. Your characters gain XP, which allow them to unlock new runes, which are permanent buffs you can mix and match pre-round, as well as certain level markers allow for the creation of better weapons for said character. Now, there's no real story progression, so this video will work a little differently. I have started to really fall in love with these sorts of games, and you should expect more on the channel soon. Like God of Weapons. Just saying. As I edit this out, I have not decided if this is going to be a part 1 or part 2 video, because the grind is going to be rough. Because, oh yeah, did I mention there are 256 achievements? Yeah. They're not necessarily difficult. They're very grindy. So, with that, let's throw that number right up on the board. And let's begin. Let's hop into my first round. There was so much happening and so many numbers and whatnot, I was absolutely overwhelmed. The clip you're seeing right now is about midway through the round. I'm currently using the only available character to start, the Barbarian. To give a little more context to what you're seeing, and it won't be like this for the whole video, we'll mostly just start going through the achievements in a bit. On the bottom you see 6 slots. These are your active abilities. These are activated automatically and are then on cooldown. Every time you level up, you'll be given one of 3 options to choose from, as you see here. Those options are either passive, which is what you're seeing right now, which increase damage, health, lower cooldown, etc., and can be stacked, or active abilities. If you have 6 active abilities already, and are given the option to choose from another active ability, you can either swap one for another, or you can choose instead to be presented with 3 passive abilities. An important note about the game for this video, and for those of you if you end up getting it yourself, is that achievements pop at the end of a round, whether you live or die. So, let me show y'all me getting absolutely blitzed and obtaining our first few achievements. So upon dying, I am awarded with the Wise 1 and the Wise 2 for reaching experience level 5 and 25 in a single match, as well as the Overlord 1 and the Overlord 2, which is eliminating at least 1 Lord of the Void and eliminating at least 2 Lords of the Void in a single match. Before we continue, I will note some achievements are bugged and don't pop when they're supposed to. They will pop later, just sort of keep that in mind. One thing I'll point out is the achievements are pretty samey. There isn't much differentiation between them. The only big difference is that of the character it belongs to or the map that you're on. But you'll get a better sense of what I mean as the video progresses. So, after getting absolutely 3-tapped by Alfred here, because I did not yet know how to deal with this attack, we are awarded with the prestigious Barbarian 1 for hitting level 5. Alright. So we've played now with the Barbarian for a little bit, so I think now it's time to unlock our next character. Characters unlock in 2 ways. The first is you have to meet a certain requirement, and then the second is you actually have to pay to unlock the character. So with that, after unlocking the Pyromancer, we get our next achievement of the same name. Being the Pyromancer here, you can sort of undersee just how busted characters can get if you create a proper build. So enjoy. I quite enjoy the Pyromancer. A quick note for all you achievement hunters out there: end of round achievements will pop once the last Lord is defeated, not when victory or defeat screen comes up. There is good reason for this, as you'll see here in a minute. If you finish within a certain time frame, 3 portals open up: Overlord, Exit, and Cycle. Exit's pretty self-explanatory. Cycle is you do the same map again, but harder, and Overlord is a different map, harder, and more bosses. After finally defeating the last Lord for the first time, and before I arrogantly try my hand at Overlord, we are awarded with Massacre 1, Swift Justice 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as the Time Trial Pyromancer achievements. Once we actually go into the Overlord portal, we are then greeted with 2 more achievements: Prestigious Pyromancer 1 and the Scorching Valley. Welcome to Overlord Difficulty 1. There are several achievements tied to both Overlord and Cycle mode, neither of which I will be getting this run, but in the top right-hand corner, instead of it saying defeat 5 Lords of the Void, it now says defeat 10. This will increase with each Overlord level. So, it was the farthest run I'd gotten so far, not my worst, but, after being toasty-roasty, I was awarded with the Wise 3 and Elitist 1 achievement. I want to again show you the extent of madness that can happen on the screen at one time, and this is truly nothing compared to how bad it's getting. I think my biggest complaint with the game so far is that so much can happen on the screen at once. You're not really able to fully be aware of everything that's happening, and because of that, you'll sometimes take run-killing damage. You will just die instantly. It's kind of annoying. Something else of note is damage over time is your best friend in this game. You will see the purple on the health bar, that is Doom damage. In a moment, it'll all disappear. Doom is my favorite DOT, but there's also Poison, Fire, and Bleed, among other status effects. Once we claim victory, we are awarded with the Overlord 3, Time Trial Barbarian, and Swift Justice 5 achievements. See what I mean with the Overlord achievement being bugged? I should have received that a while ago. And once we actually leave the map, we are awarded with the Caves of Dal Zog achievement. Back in our home, meta progression location? I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We unlock the Sentinel, the Houndmaster, and the Spellblade, giving us their associated achievements as well. Using the Barbarian again, I continue to try to clear out maps to move forward with progression. We'll talk about progression as we get there, because that's a huge portion of the game, dealing with curses and curse intensity. Also, there are achievements attached to it. With my victory over the Lords once again, I am awarded the Overlord 4 achievement. Again, still bugged, should have gotten that a while ago. And upon actually exiting the map, the achievements keep flowing with Prestigious Barbarian 2 and the Whispering Grove. Okay, it's now time to talk curses and achievements, because this is a little weird. Every level has up till Curse 7. You must beat the curse level prior to unlock the next level of curse. You can then choose how many effects you want active. The more effects, the harder the round, but the more rewards. Here's where it gets weird for achievements. Not every map has an achievement for every curse level. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. But you saw just a moment prior on the Caves of Dal Zog map, I can play curse level 2, but there was no curse level 1 achievement. While there is a curse level 1 achievement for the map before it. It's just very strange, and I wanted to clear up that problem now. After proving our superiority yet again in the arena of combat, we are awarded the Elitist 2 achievement for killing another 250 elites. And upon exiting the map, we get the Curse 2 Caves of Dal Zog achievement for clearing Curse 2 with all curse stuff available. You see why I had to explain the confusion a moment ago? People would have been like, what happened to Curse 1? So, There you go. We now have also been able to craft our first weapon, the Barbarian Tribal Axes, unlocking the Blacksmith Barbarian 1 achievement. All characters have 4 different weapons. These weapons can be unlocked at certain levels, and to top it all off, they all have their own attack that they come with, as well as their own modifier. So it's kind of important to get them and then mess around with it. Finally, before our next round, and it's a big one, we unlock the Elementalist, awarding us with their subsequent achievement. This brings us to 30 achievements total. We are now well into the hunt. So using the upgraded Barbarian with their new axes, this run is going to be a longevity one. I'm mostly prioritizing flat damage as well as critical damage. And of course, any, passives that are necessary. My intent is to go as far into the endless mode as I can, since I know that there are 3 achievements tied to it. After winning on the base floor, we are awarded with Vanquisher 1 for defeating a total of 50 Lords of the Void. And once I enter the Endless Portal to start Endless 1, I get the prestigious Barbarian 3 achievement. So real clear, something I want to clear up because I got it wrong. Endless mode does not stay on the same map, but it does appear to keep the same level of damage and health scaling through time, unlike the Overlord, which instead it just gets harder in general. Sorry for the audio, it's muted here because apparently my mic was on and I was having a conversation with someone, which not the best sort of entertainment admittedly, so take some random music instead. Otherwise, as you see, I am on Endless Mode 3. I have beaten both 1 and 2, and then got absolutely creamed here. Once I die, though, I am awarded with Endless 1 and 2 achievements, as well as the Wise 5, 6, 7, and 8. After that solid run, we get the ability to unlock a few more characters. Of course, I choose to do this, so we unlock the Arcane Weaver and Legionnaire, giving me their respective achievements. But by doing so, we also unlock Unholy Alliance 1 for obtaining 8 such characters. Using one of my favorite characters, the Legionnaire, we quickly wipe our way through the level and finally unlock the Overlord 5 achievement. Honestly, so far, the Overlord achievements have been the only what I would consider bugged achievements. And upon entering the portal to go into Endless Mode, we are awarded with the Frozen Wastelands achievement. Truly, credit where credit is due. I appreciate that when you go through a portal, so long as you completed the task, in this case, 100%ing the Frozen Wasteland, you'll still get the achievement, and you don't necessarily have to escape and win. This makes the balance between achievement hunting and progression less about the should I, shouldn't I, and just more fun and rewarding. The footage does not do a great job of actually showing what happened, but this Endless run was rough. So once I beat the last boss, it was time to absolutely skedaddle and skadoodle, and upon doing so, I am rewarded with the prestigious Legionnaire 1 achievement. The Houndmaster was an interesting character, as a majority of the skills I took were bombardment-based. While I'm always a fan of high-yield explosives, it can be a little difficult to focus down a boss simply because of that. As with most things in life, problems can always be solved with a little ingenuity and a whole bunch of fireworks. Once we put old Alfred down for good, we are awarded with the Time Trial Houndmaster achievement. Finally, once we exit the portal, we are awarded with both the Dungeon of Despair and Explorer 1 achievement for 100%ing at least 5 maps. To round out that recording session, we also unlocked the Paladin character, obtaining their achievement in the process. After an admittedly tough fight using the Spellblade, we stand victorious over the corpses of our foes, and are also awarded with the Massacre 2 and Elitist 3 achievement. But we aren't finished yet, for when we exit, we are also awarded with the Curse 1 Scorching Valley. Again, see what I mean with the weirdness of these achievements, but neither here nor there. With victory assured and the Chaos Lord falling by my fire spells, or doom spells, whatever I was using, we are justifiably awarded with the Vanquisher 2 achievement. And after deciding we've had enough bloodshed and exit, are also awarded with I've been learning to absolutely love the Sentinel, and in my opinion, I absolutely overlooked it at first. Anyways, after showing my continued superiority, I was rewarded with the Time Trial Sentinel achievement. I'd tried Overlord several times at this point, and as you can tell, I am now going to be fighting 2 Overlord bosses on Curse Level 1. Why? Not really sure, but at this point, it was my best chance of victory so far. And because I'm just built different, and not at all because I finally learning how numbers work, I defeat my very first Overlord round. Choosing to rest on my laurels, I make a hasty escape, and am finally awarded with the Overlord 1 and prestigious Sentinel 1 achievements. It's also time to upgrade the Pyromancer by purchasing their uncommon weapon and getting its related achievement. It's time to pick up our next character, the Assassin, who also happens to give us our next achievement. So far, this is a pretty standard run. Jumped in with the Assassin at no curse level, just to kind of get a feel for the character and how they play. When I win, of course, I am awarded with the Time Trial Assassin achievement. This is where I should have quit, but my hubris got the absolute better. See, I won, barely, but even when everything is dead, fun fact, poison puddles still affect you, so I lost one of my revives just at the end. This was absolutely an omen to come in Overlord 2. That being said, at least when we entered the Overlord 2 portal, we did get the prestigious Assassin 1 achievement. Overlord 2 was a massively different beast to Overlord 1, with 3 specific bosses each time. See, I was getting cocky, thought I could, figure out the game and the rest of this grind was going to be easy. Oh, the arrogance of man, how I was absolutely humbled. Feel free to listen to my live reaction to this revelation. That's just not fair. That's just not fair. As you also quickly saw, we were at least awarded with the prestigious Assassin 2 achievement for our efforts. To round out this Assassin run, though, I do end up crafting the uncommon daggers for said Assassin, obtaining the achievement as well. My first time taking the Arcane Weaver out, I have mixed feelings on him, but not too bad all the same. Finishing this fight up real quick, we end up taking the Time Trial Arcane Weaver achievement. After a close call with Overlord 1, I decided to continue to show my arrogance and attempt Overlord 2. On the bright side, I was awarded with prestigious Arcane Weaver 1. Woo! Taking the Paladin out for their first spin at the dungeons, and upon part 1 of our victory, we obtain the Time Trial Paladin achievement. Finishing up Overlord 1, we head through to Overlord 2 and obtain prestigious Paladin 1. Now here is Overlord 2. You can absolutely take a look and see what happens when you create a character that synergizes with all their abilities really well. My favorite ability of this run is Smite, the light that comes from above and deals damage to all things in the area, and it even heals you if you're in said area. Truly, Overlord 2 really got the best of me this run. It was probably one of my hardest runs to date, but in the end, I was victorious. For my daring and heroic efforts, I was rewarded with prestigious Paladin 2, Overlord 2, and the Vanquisher 3. To round out that recording session, I also ended up picking up the Chaos Walker, and of course, I got their related achievement. I love the Chaos Walker, truly one of my favorite characters in the game. In part, because I realized the power that Chaos abilities have in their ability to trigger other abilities to be used. Super cool. In any case though, after we wipe that floor, we are awarded with the Elitist 4 and Time Trial Chaos achievements. And upon hitting the portal, we are awarded this prestigious Chaos Walker 1. As you can clearly see, I am currently and wholeheartedly decimating the competition. Now, that of course being said, I do depart after my victory, and for doing so, am awarded with the Massacre 3 achievement for killing a total of 100,000 enemies. Hell yes! after a nice and relaxing victory using the Arcane Weaver, upon exit, we are given the prestigious Arcane Weaver 2 achievement. We also end up crafting our next weapon with our found resources, the Harbinger of Justice, or more specifically, the uncommon weapon for the Paladin. Upon doing so, we receive its related achievement. This was an incredibly difficult round, with at one point me fighting 4 different bosses because I was killing the minions too quickly, but not the bosses for that same run. Thankfully, we are awarded for staying alive with prestigious Chaos Walker 2 and Curse 3, the Whispering Grove. After that little run, we also end up crafting the Artifact of Corruption and getting ourselves the Blacksmith Chaos Walker 1 achievement. This is a fun little round and recording session. I jumped in here with the Legionnaire to just sort of get a better feel for the character. We swiftly beat the bosses. Not really, actually. And we hop through the portal, awarding us prestigious Legionnaire 2 and Curse 3, the Dungeons of Despair. We also quickly wrap up the session by grabbing the Necromancer and, of course, their related achievement. We just got him, so why not break in the Necromancer? Going in at, if I remember, it was Curse level 2, we mop up round 1 and obtain Time Trial Necromancer. Endless round 1 lovingly gives us the prestigious Necromancer 1 achievement, and after getting dunked on in Endless Part 2, we end up receiving prestigious Necromancer 2. This was a super fun session, I have to admit. I think I ended up grabbing another 12 odd achievements. In any case though, going back to what we just saw, with the Sentinel, I was able to pick up prestigious Sentinel 2 and Curse 2, the Frozen Wastelands. Sometimes this game can get just so incredibly insane. Look how quickly I chunked this last boss here for Endless 3. Absolutely wild. But when we move on to Endless 4, we receive the prestigious Sentinel 3 achievement. You know, after Endless 4, I thought it was sort of a good time to cash in. I'd already beaten enough butt at that point. But by leaving, we were awarded with the Endless 3 and Vanquisher 4 achievements. Now, I haven't shown much of the skill tree, and as the game goes on, the meta progression just gets wild. But by finally finishing this inner ring, we are awarded with both the Solid Foundation and Runic Empowerment 5 achievements. It's now time for more crafting, this time simply picking up both the uncommon weapon and the achievement for the Sentinel and the Arcane Weaver. Continuing to work on the Sentinel, we finish up here and get the prestigious Sentinel 4 achievement. Now I won't lie to you guys, this is probably one of the hardest rounds I've done at this point. Thankfully, I was able to prevail, and upon doing so, I was awarded with the Elitist 5 achievement. And once we exited the round, since it took too long to open the other portals, I obtained the prestigious Chaos Walker 3 and 4 achievement. Using the Chaos Walker again, this was going to be the most difficult run in terms of curse power at this point. I was going in at curse level 5 with full curse intensity so that I could unlock curse level 6. With no revives remaining and just about at half health, I was able to prevail over Curse 5, and, for my accomplishments, was awarded Curse 5, the Frozen Wasteland, as well as prestigious Chaos Walker 5 and 6. We have also now officially passed the 100 achievement threshold. Go us! Thanks to that win, we were able to finally unlock the Death Knight and obtain his related achievement. The Death Knight was an interesting character. He hit like a truck, but he didn't actually have any dashes, so I was forced to basically get as much agility as I could. This did admittedly mess with my gameplay a lot, since I was so used to dashing out of the way. I did put up a valiant effort, but it's going to take me a bit of time to get used to his no dashing and figure out the optimal way to play him. After getting just curb stomped, though, we did end up getting the prestigious Death Knight 1 achievement. With another round victory in our pocket, we obtain not only the prestigious Assassin 3, but the Curse 4 Whispering Grove achievements. It is now finally time to round out our character roster. With our last buy of the Beastmaster, we received their achievement, as well as Unholy Alliance 2. Giving the Beastmaster here their first outing, and honestly, they feel very much like the Barbarian playstyle, though they do have a lot more poison stacks available. Got a quick 1-2 here. So after killing the boss, we are awarded with the Time Trial Beastmaster achievement, and when we leave the level, obtain the prestigious Beastmaster 1. I put up one hell of a good fight, but sadly the Void bosses just got the better of me, and I could not make it work in the end. My struggles did amount to some success though, being awarded the Vanquisher 5 and prestigious Chaos Walker 7 achievement. Finally, to round it out, we also made the Chaos Walker's rare weapon at the blacksmith, unlocking that achievement as well. I just couldn't squeak a win out here either. I got smacked around by Alfred's spinning attack, and I literally was not fast enough to outrun it. That being said, it wasn't for nothing, as when we died, we did get prestigious Chaos Walker 8. So we're taking the Spellblade out for a spin here, harvesting some resources and the like. We win, and are quickly awarded with the Time Trial Spellblade achievement. But we aren't quite done yet, because leaving this level also grants us both prestigious Spellblade 1 and 2, as well as Curse 4, the Caves of Dalzog. Honestly, not a bad haul if I do say so myself. We also quickly craft the Spellblade's uncommon weapon, obtaining that achievement in the process. Alright, so it's time to run it back with the Spellblade for a second go-around. We easily defeat our adversaries, and are given the Elitist 6 achievement, and upon exit, are awarded both prestigious Spellblade 3 and Curse 4, the Dungeons of Despair. Always nice to squeak out one more achievement, and this one comes in the form after building the Necromancer's uncommon weapon. So, in this recording session, I went 2 rounds with the Necromancer. In the first round, I can't even lie to you guys, I got absolutely just flattened. There was nothing I could do, and I took it right on the chin. That being said, we did at least get the prestigious Necromancer 3 achievement. But, in the second round, I got to do the flattening. With a lot of luck. And I obtained the prestigious Necromancer 4 and 5 achievements. Not bad for a comeback. Our next achievement comes from making the Legionnaire's uncommon weapon. And if you like this guy, well, our next couple achievements will be all for him. As I said, we're working on the Legionnaire right now, and using his new spear, which I admittedly love because of the spawning extra warriors ability that it comes with. Though we do get our licks in, and we exit to gain prestigious Legionnaire 3 and 4. So, I haven't really covered much of the perk tree since the last achievement, but as the video goes on, you're going to start to see more of these things happen, so we should talk about it. After maxing out the original tree, each character gains a separate tree that is only for them, though some additional perks are universal, and the perk will say that. Each level up will grant you 1 perk point, and you will need to use both the perk point and resources to get said perk. Now, the first perk you obtain will be the character's special abilities. These can range from stat boost to adding extra fighters in the field, and they can be upgraded as well, in the perk tree, not through like the normal gameplay loop. As you can see here, the Legionnaire's special is the ability to make immobile trebuchets that deal constant damage, but you have to find building parts to make them first. Sadly, again, it was Alfred's spinning attack and my character's not great speed that got the best of me. I am admittedly starting to wonder if there's a way to beat that in a different way besides running away, so I'm gonna have to look into it further. Even though we did get absolutely toasted, we did end up getting prestigious Legionnaire 5, 6, and 7. We are almost able to build the Legionnaire's legendary weapon. This was a pretty fun round, all things considered. Getting to rain so much destruction around me was quite entertaining. Sadly, I did not survive. So, in reality, not too much to talk about for these next couple of achievements, so let's just get through them super quickly. We got the prestigious Houndmaster 1, 2, and 3, followed up by my admittedly least favorite character, the Elementalist, and of course, the aptly named prestigious Elementalist 1 and 2, And we round that all out with the prestigious Beastmaster 2 and 3. Alright folks, so this is extraordinarily embarrassing and not the level of quality I aim for in my videos, but I'm human and I make mistakes, so let me explain. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit these videos. I have all my raw footage saved on an external hard drive dedicated specifically for raw footage so as to not take up space on the internal drive. Well, it seems that DaVinci caches and keeps the footage on the main drive. When I found this out, and I did a little snooping on Google, I found out I could delete these, folders and get the space back, and voila. This is where I somehow absolutely fucked up, and again, I apologize. I lost one of my raw footage pieces, and because of that, footage for 9 achievements are lost. And the main disappointment for me is that A, I can't get those videos back, and B, a few of these achievements I wanted you to see because they were different from the majority of the others. So I'm going to try to explain those two. It's specifically 2 achievements, and you'll see it here in a moment. But with that, let me quickly show you those achievements and give a brief explanation, and again, I'm really sorry for this. The first 4 achievements came as I was playing on the easiest difficulty with the Chaos Walker because I was aiming for the last Swift Justice trophies. The reason I'm so disappointed in myself, besides just messing up, is because to obtain these, you have to beat the level in a certain amount of time. Swift Justice 6 asks to complete it in under 9 minutes, and Swift Justice 7 in 8. I did this by purposefully taking one of my stronger characters, going on the easiest level, and just plowing through. The other 2 achievements, Vanquisher 6 and Massacre 4, you've seen before, just, the lower tiers, but I always think it's important to show your work, so again, I really, truly do apologize for that. The other 5 achievements came in another run using the Paladin, where I was able to get Prestigious Paladin 3, 4, 5, and 6, as well as Curse 5, The Caves of Dalzog. Now, again, showing your work is always important, but at least you've seen these sorts of achievements all throughout the video, so the sort of sting of, you sure you got that legit, is a little lessened, but still, it's frustrating that I made such a boneheaded mistake, and I promise I'm gonna try to be a lot more careful in the future. Going back to the Barbarian, since he, hadn't received much attention recently, was interesting, but I really just don't think I played him well. There's a way to play him, I just don't think I did it well. That being said though, we do end up getting Prestigious Barbarian 5 and 6, even though we got our shit rocked. I continue to try to get ahead with all the characters, and noted the Death Knight was lacking in some stars. So, these next 2 runs were dedicated specifically to him, with the first run netting us Prestigious Death Knight 2, 3, and 4, and the second run getting us 5 and 6. We continue working our way through all the weapons by crafting the Legionnaire's rare weapon, achievement included. We then use said shiny new weapon, and in easy level, to clean up an achievement we had neglected for a little bit now. We finally get the Time Trial Legionnaire achievement, and to round it off, we also get the Vanquisher 7 for killing 600 Lords of the Void. I'm now currently gunning for a very specific achievement, that being Overlord 3. Along the way though, we do unlock Prestigious Sentinel 5. I was admittedly really cocky here. I flew through Overlords 1 to 3 on this run, and I was not expecting the utter smackdown I received on Overlord 4. I straight up had to sit up in my chair again because, the gamer position. I'm learning though that armor, block power, and crits are insanely useful. All that being said though, we do end up getting the desired Overlord 3 achievement and Prestigious Sentinel 6. To round it out, we end up grabbing the Sentinel's rare weapon and the achievement. At the time, I was trying to max out the Sentinel. This will mean something very different in a few minutes, but for now, I achieved my goal by obtaining Prestigious Sentinel 7 and 8, while also picking up the Curse 6, the Scorching Valley achievement. To tie everything together, we pick up the Sentinel's last weapon, and the, achievement that goes with it. It's time to start talking hidden achievements. as of right now, there are currently 9, but by the time this video finishes, who knows, they've already added more achievements, but we'll get to that in a moment. There are 3 unique bosses that come from old holiday updates, but the devs, being the good folks that they are, made them permanent fixtures in the game. Each one has a unique summoning ritual and are on different maps. Each boss also has 3 achievements tied to it based on the curse score, with the score being 0, 18, and 34. If you start at a curse score of 34 and win, you will get the other 2 achievements as well, so that's what my plan was, so I only had to do it once. For all 3 bosses, the plan was to rank up the level and complete curse level 6 of each specific level. That way, I could get rid of a few more annoying curses like extra bosses and the Pillars of Destruction to make the summoning just a little bit easier while not going below the curse score of 34. The first boss here is found in the mine and is called rougelike, something like that. To get him to spawn, you need to first find little kobolds in the corner of the map within the first 2 minutes of the game, and then, throughout the entirety of the game, collect 50 blue eggs that spawn around the map. Once you do that, and before killing the last lord, then when the portals appear, a new one will appear where the kobold was, allowing you entrance into the lair. So, after absolutely wiping the floor with rougelike, I was awarded Rougelike the Broodlord Easy, Medium, and Hard. We follow up that fantastic victory by grabbing the uncommon weapon for the Houndmaster. Now, I have to admit, this was actually really an enjoyable run. I have nothing negative to say about it. But after playing with our new toy, we received the prestigious Houndmaster 4, 5, and 6. I jumped in for a quick round with the Pyromancer, got my shit rocked in, but I did come away with prestigious Pyromancers 3 and 4. It is now time for our next secret boss, Camor. Now, this fellow, he's interesting because, well, one, you can't directly hurt him. You have to have him hit his own pillars, which is so frustrating. You know he's shooting because of the pink line, and the pillars are pretty easy to find because they're large, pink, and have a heart on them. This challenge was rough, especially at the 34 curse score. Probably because everything else around you is just trying to kill you, and it's basically just dodging a bunch of red. But anyways, to do this, you just need to learn how to bait him properly, something, admittedly, I did not know how to do. But through my sheer willpower, good looks, and luck that I wish existed in my real life, we were able to get Camor to hit their last of 8 pillars, awarding us Camor's Ritual Easy, Medium, and Hard. We then finish up the round with prestigious Paladin 7 and 8. You know what it is about the Elementalist I don't like? They're the weaker version of other characters. If you want a spellcaster that's faster, you have the Pyromancer or Arcane Weaver. Want a slow, heavy hitter, you have the Death Knight. Want a fast, heavy hitter, the Sentinel. The Elementalist just doesn't really fit anywhere, and because of that, I just feel it's weak in comparison. Now, that being said, I also recognize that I'm most likely not playing the character correct yet, and so that will also be affecting it. In the end, though, we do come away with prestigious Elementalist 3 and 4. The Legionnaire was a few levels away from 70, so to unlock their epic weapon, we gotta get him to level 70. A quick stint as the Roman badass, and we get prestigious Legionnaire 8, and to finally round it out, we get his epic rarity weapon. Alrighty folks, now time for the last secret boss, Bumble. And no, not the dating site, though depending on your outlook, that is still a major boss fight. Anyway, Bumble here is a giant abominable snowman who, to summon, is a pain. You'll notice here on the winter map 5 sigils with different colors. Those colors correspond to one of the 5 crystal colors dropped by the lords. You need to kill the lord that is carrying that specific color crystal on or very close to the sigil with the corresponding color. Assuming you get all 5, a green portal will open that you can go through to fight Bumble himself. This fight took me, I think, over 5 attempts. Not because I couldn't open the portal, but because I was just getting absolutely rocked. I don't know what was going on. Well, on this attempt, I built the Sentinel for pure crit damage, and you can see the results yourself. absolutely melted. Anyway, with his death, we achieve Bumble the Abominable, easy, medium, and hard. A character with little love recently was the Arcane Weaver, but I was also trying to get the last materials needed for the Chaos Walker's epic weapon, so we're gonna two birds, one stone this sort of thing. After 2 runs with the Weaver, we obtain first prestigious Arcane Weaver, 3, 4, and 5, and after our second run, we obtain 6 and 7. We then achieved our second goal of obtaining the Chaos Walker's epic weapon and its related achievement. We are making some solid progress, but oh dear viewer, how wrong I was. Okay, so here we are. I can see you already saying, son, why are you only at 256 achievements? It should be 270. And you'd be correct, please stop being rude. But I wanted to keep things and update the video in real time, so to speak. So, in case you weren't aware, the devs added a pretty solid update on December 18th, the Arms of the Ascended. It fixed bugs, spruced up the visuals, and oh yeah, added new appearances. Now, before we go into that, the devs have stated that, and I am quoting this straight from the update post, quote, "Future content will bring new appearances for you to unlock, but rest assured, all appearances will always be unlockable in-game. There will never be in-game purchases in SoulStone Survivors," end quote. As a certified and born cynic and skeptic, I'm not totally sure if they'll follow through with this, but if they do, they will now become my favorite devs, and I will happily be picking up their next game. Anyways, let's talk about the meat and potatoes for what this sort of update means. It means a fuck it bucket amount of grinding. Usually for an achievements video, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty cool, but no, these coy bastards added achievements to getting each costume. To get each costume, you have to max out the character's entire skill tree. This is a huge undertaking of grinding, most of which will obviously be off camera, because otherwise that's a boring ass video. But rest assured, I am not quitting. I will obtain all of these costumes, even if it takes me another 2 months. Alright, so with our new goal of 270 achievements, let's continue onward. After a well done but ultimately failed round using the Assassin, I unlock Prestigious Assassin 4, 5, 6, and 7. Because of this wonderful new update, I really have to get good with all the characters, so why not start with my least favorite? We finally get around to picking up the Elementalist's uncommon weapon. And with said new toy, we still don't get a win, but we do unlock Prestigious Elementalist 5 and 6. We gotta really start ranking up these characters, and to do that, we're gonna need better weapons. To start off, we pick up the Beastmaster's Uncommon, as well as the Death Knight's Uncommon, obtaining both of those achievements in the process. I got cocky again, and tried my luck with the Sentinel, going all the way to Overlord 4 on the hardest difficulty. It did not go well, but I did end up finally obtaining Massacre 5 for killing 300,000 enemies. To end this recording session out, I grabbed the Arcane Weaver's rare weapon, getting ready to give them another spin. Alright, I'm sorry, I lied. Instead, I went to run around with the Beastmaster and the new weapon that I got for him. Admittedly, got smacked around some more, but once we hit endgame and we start going for the Ascensions, I actually did learn to use a pretty good build with the Beastmaster. In any case, though, once we wave goodbye to our life, I get Prestigious Beastmaster 4, 5, 6, and 7. After a really intense round with the Spellblade and nearly choking, we complete the round and leave, but also achieving us 5 different achievements: Prestigious Spellblade 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are now officially headed into the real endgame here, where we're going to be getting all the characters to level 70 and crafting all of their, necessary weapons. Afterwards, it's just the Ascensions, so let's start to breeze through these. I'm also going to stop putting up the achievements here on screen as we make our blitz through the final achievements. So, we start said blitz with the Necromancer, completing their run and obtaining Prestigious Necromancer 6, 7, and 8. We continue with the Death Knight, netting us their final level achievements with Prestigious Death Knight 7 and 8. The Houndmasters on the chopping block next, getting their final level achievements with prestigious Houndmaster 7 and 8. We also round out the recording session for that day by obtaining the Death Knight's rare weapon, and truly, get ready for a weapons achievement sprint. Oh boy, do we have a fun sprint now. We are about to unlock 11 weapon achievements, so you know what, let's just go through them all. We start off with getting the Necromancer's rare and epic weapons, then it's the Houndmaster's rare and epic one. Turning towards the Barbarian, we obtain their rare weapon, followed by the Assassin's rare one. Beastmaster's up next with their rare weapon, followed by the Death Knight's epic one. We round out this sprint with the Spellblade's rare and epic weapon, and finally conclude with the Elementalist's rare weapon. Now, that was quite a few, and we haven't even finished and gotten all of the weapons yet. Alrighty, it is now time for us to obtain our very first ascension with the new character costume and of course the beautiful achievement. To obtain an ascension, you have to unlock every node in the character's specific skill tree, which also requires you to level each character to 170. My first character, who ascended, is the Sentinel, giving me the Ascended Sentinel achievement. We continue our leveling shenanigans with the Barbarian, getting them to 70, and obtaining prestigious Barbarian 6, 7, and 8, while also finishing off this gaming session by obtaining the Barbarian's epic weapon. These next 21 achievements are the last push before all that remains are ascensions, so let's pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and finish pre-ascension grind strong. We start off by getting the Paladin's rare and epic weapons. We get wrecked with 1 health remaining using the Pyromancer, but we do get prestigious Pyromancer 5, 6, and 7 at the end of it. We then finish the second round by getting prestigious 8, finally finishing the level achievements for said Pyromancer. We finish up with the Elementalist, awarding prestigious Elementalist 7 and 8. All that's left now is their ascension. Joy! Before we continue though, we have more weapons. We get the Pyromancer's rare and epic weapons, as well as the Elementalist's epic one. The day ends with getting the last level achievement for the Arcane Weaver, obtaining prestigious Arcane Weaver 8. We're almost done with the pre-ascension achievements. We get the Beastmaster to level 70, obtaining prestigious Beastmaster 8. And finally, we round it out by completing all levels of prestigious achievements with the Assassin, netting us prestigious Assassin 8. We have another quick weapon to make, and this time it is the Assassin's epic weapon. On to these last little pieces of cleanup here. Using the Death Knight, we obtain the Time Trial Death Knight achievement, one of 2 that I had actually missed up until this point. The other one we'll get here in a hot moment. Before we do that though, we have a quick weapon to create, the Beastmaster's epic weapon, and a personal favorite of mine. And finally, we complete all the Time Trial achievements with the Elementalist. And also, I weirdly think this is the first win with the Elementalist I've shown on screen, so that's embarrassing. We finally finish crafting all the weapons, with the Arcane Weaver's epic being our last one. Now, for those of you paying attention to the number at the top, you might have noticed a little goof. Well, I'm going to fix that right now by turning that 5 into a 6. Where I messed up and forgot to add another achievement, I don't rightly know. This video in particular has taken me months to record and edit, and since I edit in batches, I must have messed up somewhere. Thankfully, I was only off by 1, which, considering the amount of achievements, is astounding. This last achievement would have been the final achievement in the game had the Ascensions not been introduced. But while we were defeated, we obtained Massacre 5 for killing 500,000 enemies. And with that, all we have left are the Ascensions. What will be about a minute for you has taken me literally months. This video started in November of 2023. And thus, the Ascensions begin. Our next character to get a new costume was the Necromancer. And I mean, look at this. It is so cool. What a solid design, genuinely. I love it. Next up, we have the not at all fan favorite, the Elementalist. I did, in the end, get along with this character, but I sort of went kicking and screaming into the grind. Cool outfit, though. Following the Elementalist, we have the Assassin. I used a really fun weakness-based build that was consistently able to get me to endless round 5, which netted a good amount of XP per run. The Death Knight is up next, and he was an interesting character. I was never able to get a really proper OP build with him, but my sheer stubbornness and determination thankfully pushed me through to completing him. Ooh, alright, so this next ascension was really fun. For the Spellblade, I used a build that had me spawning fire blades like it was nobody's business, and it absolutely melted the bosses. And yes, pun intended. The Legionnaire was also pretty interesting. I actually started using the same fire sword build that I had with the Spellblade. Well, because it just made such quick work of enemies. I did end up using this build for a couple of the other characters. Remember how I had issues learning the Beastmaster? Well, for their Ascension, the build I chose to use was a pure zoo build using only summonable beasts. And let me tell you, it went ham, even though no pigs were injured. Ah, the Paladin. He weirdly gave me a struggle to find a build for him, but then I discovered the joy of the Light Beam, mixed with a few other attacks, and then it was just smooth sailing from then on out. Up next was the Chaos Walker, and if I'm being honest, I just enjoyed using the Chaos Walker. I didn't really decide on any specific build I would consistently run. It was sort of a hodgepodge of whatever, but I did end up using the Fireblades build at least more than once. The Houndmaster was another weird build for me. I couldn't really figure out how to make a productive build, but I ended up choosing one that focused around the Scent of Blood ability and proccing bleed. It did decent work, all things considered. I enjoyed the Arcane Weaver. I chose to run two different builds with them. The first was an all bolts build, which was halfway decent, but then I chose to do a Ray build using the Light Beam, Arcane Beam, and his inherent ability that comes with his epic weapon, the Ice Beam. Mix that with Might, and I had a recipe for success. The penultimate character, folks, the Barbarian. I used the same style of build as the Houndmaster, using Scent of Blood and proccing Bleed. Weirdly enough, though, it was actually a lot more effective with the Barbarian than the Houndmaster. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for. The final character with the final achievement, the Pyromancer. If it's not obvious what I did with this build, well, Fireblades. Fireblades, and it absolutely rocked. Oh my god, I love Fireblades. Use Fireblades. With that, folks, that's all 270 achievements for SoulStone Survivors done and dusted. This took me over 3 months to complete, totaling around 111 hours and a 15-page script. I loved this game. After so long, I did start to feel certain things were repetitive, and a few characters were slogs, looking at the Elementalist, but overall, I adored this grind, and I look forward to whatever content they put out next. I may even do an achievement update video for their next update if there are significant additions. Be on the lookout soon for both Skyrim and Terraria series, and Assassin's Creed Rogue on the horizon, as well as many other games. Overall, though, I truly can't thank you all enough for sticking through it. If you enjoyed this video and are excited for more content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. Peace!